Here's the Westinghouse 1960 AM FM radio. And in addition to new caps and a new diode, it did need repair on the IF cans. This here is the first FM IF. Here's the second FM and the second AM. And I was getting just intermittent sound that was really weak and sometimes no reception at all. So I went straight to the IF cans, and it turned out that that was the problem. I installed the fuse. I put in 2 new capacitors and a new diode. It originally used selenium, and it does have a surge resistor going into the diode, so I didn't think I needed to put another one on. In order to wire up the fuse, I drilled a new hole through the circuit board, and you can see here I just scraped off the printed circuit trace originally going from the power line to the surge resistor, and just hooked the fuse up through that new hole I drilled, then put the other fuse to the cheater cord terminal. I had to solder some broken traces put in some new wire to replace broken solder traces on the circuit board around the caps. Here are the new caps on the IF cans. For FM circuits, 22 picofarad works good, and for AM, 100. This second IF transformer for the FM is not really a transformer, it's just a coil. It only has just has 2 leads on it, and it just uses capacitive coupling between the primary and secondary parts of the circuit. So they just, I don't know why they didn't use an actual transformer, but it's got LC coupling in that circuit. And then here are the 100 PF caps on the AM side. And the other IF cans seem to work okay. I just started with one of them and just kept repairing them until the radio worked. And this one here seems to still be okay, so I didn't mess with it. But this actually has an instant on circuit. It's got a resistor here that connects across the power switch terminals. When the power switch is in the off position, the resistor is in the circuit, leading to reduced voltage. And here's the text. It says, "This Westinghouse radio has been designed to provide extended tube life and instant operation. Using principles proven in electronic equipment used by the armed forces, the tube filaments in this radio will remain warm even when the radio is turned off. This provides extended tube life by eliminating the constant heating and cooling of the tube filaments. In addition, this provides almost instant operation when the radio is turned on, thus eliminating the long warm-up period normally required when the radio is turned on from a cold start. The power consumed by the constantly lighted tubes while the radio is turned off approximates the power required for a single small Christmas tree bulb." Westinghouse is the only tube-type radios I've ever seen with an instant on circuit. A lot of TVs, particularly in the late 60s and 70s, used instant on circuits, but Westinghouse is the only radio brand that I've seen use it. So now I'm going to plug it in, and I've got it on the isolation transformer here. Let's turn it on. I did have to realign the FM IF cans, and I just did it by listening to it. I know that's not the proper way, but sometime I want to do a real alignment job on it, but it sounds pretty good to me. But I had to realign it because I think those caps were slightly different in value than the original ones.
What more could you possibly want? How about daily drink specials from 4 to 1? Buffalo Wild Wings in Odessa on North Grandview.
Éxitos, boletos ya a la venta. Adquiere tus boletos VIP solamente en el Far West. No.
This time the gun is going to stay. featuring T-Pain. That song's not even relevant today. It's all about the green and yellow. Be Naughty 3, taking your requests if you got one. Facebook me. You can email me. Here's Kesha. We are who we are.
And dangerous. If you're one of us, then roll with his beat.
Thunder roll.
It really seems to sound good, even for just this little speaker. Almost thought they'd used a bigger speaker. They could have fit one in there.
Every light's burning in a house across town.
Let's try AM.
Right to call our president a dictator?
Well, you're referring to me calling him a dictator.
Yes,
Vice
sir.
President Biden says that.
Down the Soviets, and
But I want you to see if there's any connections to anybody here in America. I mean, if you've heard these.
Always saved. Can't lose your salvation. We don't agree on that. Homosexual unions? We don't agree on that.
But those people who don't agree are going against the Bible.
No. They say they're not. They cite their scripture verses.
You fuel your body and your mind.
So what do you like to throw around the football like Drew?
Skateboard, ride a bike, or dance in your room.
Just move it your way.
And be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day.
So there's the AM. It really has especially good sound on AM. Now here's the old cap that was in it, the electrolytic. And this was actually replaced in '66, so the original cardboard cap only lasted for 6 years. Not good, in my opinion. So I'm going to leave it off here for a little while, and I can demonstrate the instant on circuitry. I don't know if you can really see me. Turn the light off on the camera here. Let's see how we turn it off here. There we go. You can really see, but see that tube is lit up very dimly. It's now in the standby mode. So let's turn it on. We'll see how long it takes to come on.
How about this? Brett who? That's the cover.
Brett Favre's name does not make the
No, it can't. That's not fair. Say cheese. How about that one? How about thank Aaron?
So it takes about 7 seconds to warm up as opposed to maybe 25 or so. So there's the Westinghouse radio, and it's all original tubes except for this 50C5. Part of the filament broke off on it, and so I put in a brand new, or not a brand new, but a good used one. But you can see all this discoloration in here just by years and years of heat. Or it may even be nicotine and tar, but I figure it may be exacerbated just by heat of constantly lit tube filaments. And inside here, inside the case, you can see discoloration from tube heat.